Clearly, this case must be investigated and possibly maybe by the right authorities. But does it make sense to say that in their investigations, the dealers themselves who have heated up this issue to this point be investigated even more? And then those that are found culpable to have pushed this burden onto, by proxy onto the Nigerian people through the customs should face the law.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to answer in regard to Maokwe's question. I always draw this analogy of an orphan, somebody who killed his father and mother, and they now say, okay, you have to be killed, and he pleads for leniency. Don't kill me, I'm an orphan. I mean, you made yourself an orphan. You say, oh, you have spoken with the dealers. These dealers have been colluding with customs men to cheat Nigeria out of revenue. You are now listening to them against Nigerians. You know, it's about finance. Before, if somebody buys a car, the man who imports the car, the dealer who sells to the public, the price the buyer is paying includes the clearance costs. I mean, the burden is always on the buyer, the ultimate buyer. That's why the government is telling us, oh, we must reduce importation. We must reduce importation. So if somebody buys a car, he has paid the appropriate import duty to the person who sold to him, because the seller will not sell at a loss.
Now, I mean, I need to put it in because we've seen the officials in the office of the Senate presidency have denied categorically that the Senate president imported that car himself, but they've also set up a committee in the House, the Senate, to look at that. But since that policy now, but the customs has been, they say, suspended. Do we then say that, or what is the right process? Can the customs on their own come up with this policy again, or if they were to come up with any such policy whatsoever without the Ministry of Finance giving a stamp? Or if the Ministry of Finance feels that, no, this is not right, shouldn't they also be speaking up and saying, no, that policy should not be the case?
God bless you. Now, that takes me back to the opening glee. When I said, you have a party in power that controls majority in the House, there should be no controversy. This issue, for instance, of whether the CGC should wear uniform, whether this policy is right or wrong, the Minister of Finance, working together with the Senate President, with the CGC, they should talk to the Attorney General of the Federation, the Chief Legal Officer of this whole country. He knows all the law, presumably. Look, on the issue of uniform, what is the position of the law? His opinion should be final on that matter. There should be no controversy. There should be no court matters. Now, on this policy, I do not agree that the Senate should waste its time calling on the man to come and explain the basis for the policy. If they call the minister, look, how did you arrive at this? Is it about revenue? Is it about closing up our borders? You want to block the porous avenues through which monies are taken? The minister will explain. Now, it's for the Senate, the two chambers, to then immediately come up with a bill that takes care of the anomaly. Right now, we're engaging in controversy when all they need to do is to say, okay, this is the problem. Now, import duty waivers, there are laws guiding that. But over the years, since 1999, import duty waivers have been given for the wrong reasons. Okay. And there are records to show. Let the CGC go after those who have gotten import duty waivers first, the rich men.
All right. Well, let you conclude your point when we return in a moment. Join us again. Welcome back. You were talking about the Senate needing to reach out to the Ministry of Finance.
Yeah, exactly. I believe that for a government that wants to work, this government should begin to, work together, all arms. So my own humble opinion is that the Senate can call the Minister of Finance. It's belittling themselves when they go beyond the ministry. Two wrongs can never make a right. So when you go beyond the supervising ministry, in your so-called oversight functions, you belittle yourself. So they should call the minister. What role did you have to play in this policy statement? Now, if you didn't have a role to play, don't you think you should call the CGC, sit down with him and tell him that, look, in contradistinction with existing laws, this is just not right. Now, then the liaison officer in the Senate, in the houses, should then liaise with the presidency and the minister, the attorney general and minister for justice. It is the engine room of any administration.
So is the CGC flying on party wings now?
Well, I read the chairman of APC saying, oh, we are actually embarrassed by what is going on and that we are going to talk to the party men involved. You know, they see it as a party issue. That's APC. That is wrong. It's not a party issue, it's a Nigerian issue because it will touch and concern me ultimately. So if the Attorney General is now called upon, can you give us an opinion, a legal opinion, which the man had done in private practice? What this man is doing? Does he not contravene this? Is this right? Should the end user, the man who has paid, a fair price for his car, should he be accosted on the highway and his car impounded? Then the Attorney General's decision, he would then do an opinion to the Senate. He would do that to the minister. And then we can take it from there instead of always fighting on the pages.
Let's fast forward to the Senate before we wrap up on this, where we started off in the first place, where they moved the motion. We know the process of moving the motion. You write your motion, submit to the presiding officer, they list it if it's found before it comes up. But now, the Senate President was not there. They moved that motion against the Senate President and Senator Melai. What do you see happening with this one?
Well, somebody presided. In the absence of the person who should preside, there are rules of the House, governing the House, that somebody should preside. So I don't think there's a lacuna in what they have done. If somebody presided and allowed any motion to be moved, well, all well and good.
So what if at the end of the day, they do all the investigation and find out that no, he did not actually do what the custom said he did?
Well, you want me to give you the hard truth or the Nigerian truth?
Well, let's start with the hard truth.
Well,
the truth.
Let's start at
the hard truth. The hard truth is copying the democratic dispensation in the U.S. I mean, where Flynn, for instance, had to resign simply because they felt he told a lie. Now, in the Nigerian setup, I would have loved to say that the hard truth is the person who has raised that kind of elevated lies to the level of truth should just resign his position and take a walk. But then you know that the Nigerian truth is nobody ever resigns. And that's why the Senate President is there. That's why some judges are where they are. That's why the CGC is there. That's why everybody is where they are. So much motion without movement.
Thank you for coming on. We have to move this time. Mr. John Oloyede is a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on today. And that's the show as well. We appreciate your letting us be a part of your day today. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
And thanks for staying with us. I'm Gimba Omar.
Again, whatever you do today, do keep your head up. Thank you for watching. I'm Maokbe Ogun.